Hey there, Leslie M. Thornton here, Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss. I am coming back from having a pretty doozy level of a cold here. My sister came in for a visit from across the country and gave us the gift of a beautiful summer cold that has had many different levels and degrees of intensity. So, anyway, definitely coming around the corner now. But if you notice that my voice is a little congested, that would be why. But really feeling my energy back today for the first time in several days. Came off that vacation a couple weeks ago. So, here we are. And I'm full of juice, ready to share this topic today. And I know that I've had a podcast that's been titled something very similar around why can't I stop obsessing or why can't I stop thinking about food? And I really just want to give you this gift of knowing why that is. Because something that I know from my own journey is how awful it is to have tried absolutely every diet under the sun, to have, read all of the books, to have read all the blogs, to have watched all the YouTube videos on how to lose weight and how to be successful and all those kinds of things. And to also know that you're a smart person and that you succeed in pretty much every other area of your life. But when it comes to food, body, and weight, it's like this plague that I will never be able to come out of. And if I'm speaking to you, I'm really, really, really sorry that you're in that. I know how painful that can be. I know how painful gaining weight after you've lost a lot of weight. I know that many of you have gained weight since COVID happened, or you lost weight with COVID and you're terrified of gaining it back now that you're getting back into society and around normal things and events again. I know what that's like. I know what that's like so well. And obviously, that's why I'm here and why the whole Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss team is here, is because we know what that feels like. Excuse me. And when people get to us, when they're actually talking with us, and we just spoke to someone who has been listening for a very long time, I think every single episode, and she finally made the decision to reach out. And I just want to send my love and heart to any and all of you that are longtime listeners and we haven't made a connection yet, or we made a connection and we haven't been able to make the full connection yet of you really taking this to that level 10 gear. And if there's any way we can help you with that and to talk about the program, then please come to us. We're so accessible and we just have so many people that get where you're at and want to help. So please, 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 don't hang out in the shadows. And I'm glad that this podcast is supporting you if you've been listening for a long time. And I also want to say that the podcast and just listening to the soothing sound of my voice, even though congested today, is really just scratching the surface. And what I'm going to talk about today with the why can't you stop obsessing is going to really paint the picture as to why it is just scratching the surface, and why no matter how much I can soothe you by letting you know that I understand like the intricacies of your story far beyond just calories in and calories out and exercise and non-exercise. This is the part that goes way deeper. And like I always say, when people get to us, it's usually because they're at the end of their rope with dieting and exercise, and they just want that obsession to stop. And so the question is, why can't I? So what I want to really paint for you right now is the fact that when we are experiencing a constant coming up against the same battle over and over again, right? In this case, like the constant food battle, right? I'm going to eat perfect today. And then by 2 p.m., your hand is in your colleague's chip bag, right? Or, I'm going to be really good. Or, you wake up and you had too many drinks the day before. And then you literally wake up the next day, like extremely upset about how you feel. You wasted the day. Why did I do that? Right? Like that chain, that was my life for so many years. It was for so many years. And I know for so many people, it's that same thing. And I want to let you know that you're not crazy. I always want to let you know that you're not crazy and that I understand, and we all understand. So what's going on here? So number one, understanding that that voice that is saying, why did you do that? I can't believe it. You made this mistake again. Why are you eating, at nighttime when I specifically said that we weren't going to do that anymore, right? Like just that it's constantly going. And sometimes we're hyper aware of that voice, but a lot of the times it's just going in the background. And before we get on this journey, we are 100% unconscious, or at least 85% unconscious of what that voice is actually saying. Okay. And most all my clients are the most supportive, loving, caring human beings on the planet, right? And they've accomplished amazing things and they have great families. A lot of them are very supportive. Sometimes they have, not so great upbringings, not all the time, right? And they're so quick, they're the best friends to other people. So like, they're always the one that people come to for advice or for counsel, or if they're having a bad day, it's like, you're the first person that they call. Right. And what you say to them is the most loving, supportive, beautiful thing you can imagine, right? Like, oh my gosh, why are you saying that about yourself? Like, you're so amazing. Like, I don't want you to think that way. And, this, that, and the other thing. But when it comes to what you say to yourself, first of all, if you're the caretaker, then you don't really have as many avenues for people to go to for support. Why? Well, for me, it was because I believed that if I let my family know I was struggling as much as I was, which was a lot when it came to food, body, and weight, and I'd be pretending that I had it all together at times, and I'd be preaching about the latest research and food and nutrition and health and weight loss. And, it would work for a while, and I 100% believed it. It was innocent. And then right, it would eventually, like if it stopped and when it stopped working, the diet that I was on or whatever, then I was like all the way down in the trenches. Like, so I was shameful. I was like embarrassed, like really embarrassed when I wasn't doing well. And I couldn't talk to anyone about it because here I am supposed to be this epitome of health and I am at the bottom of the barrel. So I'm isolated. I'm alone, which just makes that voice and those feelings louder and bigger and scarier. And I also had a belief, this was the other reason I didn't get help or like have a place to talk to about this. Well, there's a few reasons for that, was because I thought that nobody would come to me anymore to talk about their problems. I had this inner belief that if I showed that I didn't have all my stuff together, then people wouldn't want to come to me anymore. And I would be burdening them and all of this kind of stuff. But in reality, once I got past, I was like, people wanted to help. People had access to what I needed to get past this. Not everybody, but certain, people that I saw that they had a healthier relationship with food. My sister, for example, she was already kind of intuitively eating. And I remember when I was in India and I was like, how do you come to the plate? Like, how are you able to just, and she gave me her tips. And now it's a lot of the stuff that I teach. It's not just primarily for my sister, but I could tell that she's kind of in alignment with this automatically. But how come, my own sister doesn't have it, but I do. Right. So that was another one. The other thing was because I had tested being vulnerable with talking about my body and food obsession before with friends in high school. And they didn't understand. There was not one person that I spoke to, and it wasn't a ton of people, but it's like we talk to one or two people, we get, the opposite evidence of what we're looking for. And then we make a decision like, well, I can't talk about that again, because they're going to just start thinking I'm a freak. Right. So I had, shared with other people about my food, body, and weight stuff. And they're like, either what are you talking about? You look fine. Or, oh my gosh, I know you work out all the time. How come it's such a struggle for you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it is a struggle for me. And they just didn't understand. And it made me feel stranger. It made me feel like yeah, like that, it wasn't okay to share that, because literally, if I could have, I would have been talking about it like all the time. Why? Because it was on my mind all the time. And I know that if you're listening to this podcast, you think about food, body, and weight all the time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be considering hypnosis. You wouldn't even be on this podcast. You wouldn't be in this Facebook group, depending on where you're watching this. You wouldn't be here, right? So I get it. I 100% get it. So what happens in this process is there needs to be a discovery. First of all, there needs to be a slowing down of the mind, which the hypnosis and the other meditations that I supplement you with allow the brain to start practicing to slow down. If you've done meditation in the past, if you've done hypnosis in the past, this is not that. The hypnosis is like a guided meditation, and it's specifically tailored towards food. And that's the difference between hypnosis and meditation. Is hypnosis is tailored for one specific thing. And there are very specific ways of prompting the subconscious mind to start paying attention to other more positive aspects that has the crazy mental obsession with food start to detach and alleviate, so that you can start being present in your life again, enjoying your family parties, not stressing about a party 2 weeks away from now, not being worried about how your bathing suit looks, not being scared to eat a hamburger or a hot dog or gluten or dairy or this kind of thing or that kind of thing, right? Like, it's a process, because those beliefs, they become so blended with who you are. So until you become aware of what that dialogue that's happening in the background automatically based on your background, your upbringing, you know, all of that, your schooling, your parents, your family, right? My family was always very concerned about food and weight and body, right? And so automatically, the fishbowl I was swimming in was one where you had to be thinking about it. You were concerned about it. Okay. And fast forward till today, where it's like, until I actually underwent that process of questioning that, of analyzing that, of deciding what does health actually look like to me? What does living a full life actually look like to me? Because to me, it didn't look like compartmentalizing when I could enjoy life and when I couldn't, right? Like, I was not into like Monday through Friday slave away to make sure you don't eat so you can party away on the weekends. I tried that, right? And all that I ended up with was me feeling awful on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, is a wash right back to the weekend. And then the weight is slowly going up and up and up, versus consistency, versus every day, versus, a hamburger is the same as a window, right? Or like a cookie is the same as like this computer, right? There is no charge. It's not that big, that spark, that thing that's like, as soon as you get stressed out, it's like, where's the ice cream, right? It's like, it's not that. I never thought that there would be a day where I would get free from food. Never, not once. I thought that this was something that was handed down to me, that I would always have, that I was stuck with. And I'm telling you, that's not true. There is so many more developments in psychology, in neuroscience, that understands now. And this is what coaches, really good coaches, are now able to bring to the table for clients, is to really unblend that voice of your upbringing with reality and your authentic self. I'll say that again. It's unblending that voice between your upbringing, reality, and your authentic voice, who you are, what you actually want to do, right? It's a totally different thing than any of the other stuff. Okay. So I want to invite you today to make a commitment to yourself to let go of that mental obsession. What would it be like for you to not have that be the only fishbowl that you're swimming in? To let go of that constant obsession. And I'm telling you, nothing that you're reading, nothing that you're researching, not even listening to this podcast is going to unblend that voice. The only way to do it is to dig into those trenches, to get on this path and journey of self-discovery, to get so curious and so brave to find out what life is like without that obsession. So if you have any questions, as always, you can go ahead and text that number that you're about to hear, the word hypnosis, to 72727 if you're watching live now. We also have a network that you can join now. It's totally free. And the link for that is bit.ly/HPWL network. If you want to join that, we're having lots of conversations with podcast listeners over there. And if you are a previous client of ours, please save the date. October 23rd and 24th, I am having an in-person retreat in New York. And so if you have questions about that, you can also message us, find us whatever way that you can. Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss, weightlossalbany.com. There's so many ways to access us and find out how you can actually get on this journey. So I love you so much, and time to hop onto our coaching call with our active clients. Have a great day.